Alright, welcome to day 2 of our Mirthwood guide and walkthrough. So at this point I'm going to go ahead and venture out back into the freelands again. My first step is to go pick up some of the items that I left behind in our earlier playthrough. So those things like the deer and the rabbit meat that I left behind, picking up some honey on the way there. Once again, I can just leave items there that do not fit into my pack at the moment, and it's not a problem, they won't disappear, and I can just come back and get them later when I have the space for it. It's not really an issue, and like I said, it's important that you don't worry too much about managing your food because there's food everywhere in the world. So now I'm going to pick up here a feather directly south of where I was. The feather is important because those allow you to expand your inventory, your skill slots, amongst other things, and we'll go visit the person who does that in a future video. So now I'm back in the town of Bright Oak. So what am I doing in Bright Oak? There's this letter here on this table that tells you about something being hidden or thrown on the floor, and it's not very clear what they're referring to, but it's a copper bar, and the copper bar, we'll grab it later. Most houses have some sort of letter or have some sort of book that you can read, and it's important to go in and just get a little slice of life. Be really careful when exploring them though, because you see a little item on a little pouch on the table, and if you hit steal on that, then your morality will take a hit. So now what I'm doing is I'm going back to where the cooking pot is. So if you remember in our previous episode, we talked about this cooking pot that I don't have to build to waste resources on. And I'm going to show you what happens when you try to cook something you don't have space in your inventory like we did last time. So here I'm trying to get rid of everything that is taking up space. So because I don't want to be eating the raw chicken, I don't want to be eating the raw meat, then I'm going to go ahead and cook it. However, I don't have space in my inventory. So what do I do? Well, the good news is you can just press C and you drop an item on the floor. Dropping an item doesn't make the item disappear. It just leaves it on the floor. You can always pick it back up. I like to do it with items that aren't as important, like berries, just in case something happens. You never know, the game can crash or whatever, so I don't want to drop something like my 8 trout, for example. But I can just drop my elderberries or drop them down. I can drop anything I want on the floor and pick it up later. So it's important to realize that the inventory management of this game allows you to drop and pick up things at whim. For example, drop them off, eat something, pick something back up, etc. So that's how you get around the early game, your inventory being full. Here what I did is I dropped the bread, and then I picked up the elderberries and I ate the elderberries. Why? Because elderberries are everywhere and there's a bunch of trees and they respawn really easily. And bread is a lot more of a commodity because it replenishes more hearts and it's rarer to find and actually have to make it from flour. So as I'm going back into Bright Oak, I decide to go ahead and chop down some of the trees inside the town. The trees inside the town, or any tree really that is farmable, depending on the season, has a distinct color and a distinct shape. So here I am in the spring, and the trees are those pink trees are always choppable, and then those small twig-looking trees are also choppable, and that's about it. So, but the thing is that anywhere in the world you can chop those. So keep that in mind when you go out adventuring. You want to make sure that you're looking out for those trees and doing something with them. So I check the blacksmith's inventory just to kind of see what I'm going to be buying next. I'm going to go a ranger build on this guy, on Jonas. So I'm going to do that. So the next part is I'm trying to find the jester's clothing. Directly south of the blacksmith you can find the pants. And then you go up north, and next to the bathhouse to the left you'll be able to find the jester's hat at the base of a tree. So that's 2 clothing items done, and I need a third one. The third one is over by the jousting arena. But while I go there, I'm going to go ahead and pick some stuff up on the way. I'm going to grab whatever herbs I find as I head out. So the jousting arena is actually another place where you can have I actually talked to Meriel here on the way because she was there, and Meriel likes to wander around town, but if you see her and you see a little 3 little dots above her head, that indicates a quest. You might as well just go ahead and grab it, and she asks you to get ingredients, and as you can see I already picked up a bunch of them, and she's asking me for elderberries, but I don't have space to carry them. But the tree doesn't go away, it's going to be always there, so I know that at the time I feel like completing this quest, I can go and grab that tree and be done. Here's another book you want to pick up just for completionist sake. You pick up a wooden sword, a fabled feather, and some items in that chest. The wooden sword I just sell. You don't really need to do anything with that. So I go down towards the jousting arena, which is on the right-hand side of town. Like I said, I was saying before, the jousting arena has a couple of storage containers that do not count as stealing when you rummage through them. So here at the base of the tent, I go ahead and complete the quest, The Joke Is On You, which nets me some renown, and that's about it. Here's the first barrel that you can loot without getting a stealing icon on it, and then directly south of the jousting arena, past this fabled feather we just picked up right here, you're going to get another chest that you can, or barrel that you can loot and see what's up in there without getting a stealing prompt, which is really nice. Sometimes those barrels contain really good items, so you might as well just check them out, and you don't lose anything by checking them. So that's kind of it. Directly north of the jousting arena, past the stables to the north, we're actually going to pick up that copper bar I was telling you about. It's on the floor. Then we're going to head north into the graveyard, and we're going to read the note on the chair to give us another quest to pick up, Shadow in the Night. And we're going to pick up another fabled feather, and then we're going to go around and to the left and up to pick up a chest that contains a rusty copper sword. And we're back at Northdale Farm, so I can go ahead and sell all the items I picked up along the way. Sell the sword, sell the wooden sword. I would sell the copper bar, you really don't need it. Any clothing you think you're not going to be wearing, the jester's clothing, you can just sell those off too if you feel like it. Again, I would recommend you just sell everything you don't need, and there's no point in keeping it. And ultimately, if you want to be a completionist, I get it, and later on maybe the money making is going to be for you, but right now, early on, you're just better off selling everything because you can always just buy it back. Alright, with all that being done, we're going to go ahead and just get our bearings straight in regards to the town, pick up some more quests in Brydok. I'm just going to, drip myself out because I think that hat looks really, really cool. We're going to pick up a quest right here in Northdale Farm. I'm just going to go a little bit to the right in Northdale. This quest is called, it's a chicken quest. If you remember Kakariko Village with trying to find all the chickens and stuff in Zelda, this is similar to it, where you go and talk to this guy and he tells you to whack his chickens and get them back into his farm. Chickens are all over the place, so just keep an eye out for them, and you can hit them with anything. It doesn't have to be the chicken switch. But as soon as you get that quest, go down a little bit and you can read this letter this girl wrote to her dad, which is kind of sad, but it's a nice little piece of lore. And you can see the people in the freelands, are living their daily lives, and sometimes it's bleak, sometimes it's not. But it's a real slice of life that you're getting from all of these little notes and letters that you can pick up along the way. I'm going back into Brydok, and the reason I'm going back into Brydok is that I want to get one more quest at the marketplace. So the marketplace is one where you can buy the markets, but there's another section of the marketplace to the left of it where you can pick up requisitions and you can pick up quests. So here's a quest, and this is a water under a bridge, so I can connect Ashmer to Brydok. But then if I click on the marketplace, it'll show me things that people are requesting. So the thing about relationships in this game is right now, the real function of relationships in the game are kind of to help you get items. So if you achieve a really good relationship status for people, they end up sending you gifts to your house, which is really nice because sometimes you can get like gems, you can get rare items, rare fish, that kind of stuff. So if you're able to and you have enough inventory to spare, go ahead and create those positive relationships with the people in town, and you'll be able to start receiving those gifts. So I just checked my journal right before that, and I was just kind of showing you guys how many contracts and quests I currently have open. It's quite a large number, and we'll get to those one by one as we progress throughout the series. Like I said before in the earlier one, the first two are the easiest, just finding Darcy and finding Medville Meadery. So those are probably the ones we're going to do first. And then as we play the game, we're just going to be on the lookout for those chickens and smack them so they go back home. So now I'm going back to my house. And the reason I'm going back to my house is I want to make sure... I can show you right there. See, the food hasn't disappeared yet, so I can just leave it there indefinitely. I'm going to go ahead and store items that I don't need anymore. So like I said before, materials copper ore, iron ore, silver ore, whatever I pick up, animal fat, butter, that I'm not going to be eating. I mean, I guess I could go around eating sticks of butter, but I'm not going to. So once I store items, I'm going to go ahead and explore a little section of the map that we haven't explored before. I forgot to put up my picture on the first day. Putting up your picture is actually important because it frees up an inventory slot, so my bad on that. But you can go ahead and place it down now. The next part of the quest is I need to, home sweet home, I need to plant some seeds, so I'm going to do that now. I could have done that before going to bed, but it doesn't necessarily matter. I mean, I guess it could have been more efficient. But I pressed G for the grid so I can see, and there needs to be 2 spaces, so 1, 2, between the little mounds that I'm tilling. So just keep that in mind, and the grid really helps with that out. I like to space them out this way. The watering can waters in a 4-space area. So if I plant my seeds, I'll be able to water 4 at a time in this particular way that I planted them. The pea seeds are actually really a good source of early game food and for selling things because they regrow. The onions do not. So peas can give me peas all throughout spring as long as I keep watering them. Onions are a one-time thing. So this is just for aesthetic purposes. I kind of like seeing the little dirt on the ground and it makes it feel a little bit more real. But you don't have to do this if you don't want to. So for the next piece, I'm going to go explore the north and the east and the west part of my farm. The reason I'm doing this is just to show you guys that exploration does reward you in this game, at least with some consumables and other items you can use to craft, clothing you can sell, that kind of stuff. So it's important because we're going to be, as I said before, we don't have much money in the beginning of the game, so the more items you get that you can sell, for example, this shirt you can sell, clothing you can sell. So I'm going back home really quick because I realized that I need more space in my inventory. So I went ahead and I stored everything that I didn't really need right now on my adventures, so that when I go out, I'm able to grab everything that I find in the barrels for the most part. I'm even dropping off food because I'm not going to be hungry very soon, and I can just eat stuff that I pick up along the way. So that's another reason why, and because food doesn't spoil, you can just store it forever and it's fine. Here I'll go ahead and pick up some more food that I had found, apples and that kind of stuff. And then we like apples, right? Because we can make the honeyed apple versions. So those are always nice to keep around. If I get hungry, I'll just munch on that elderberry that were there. So because I picked up the elderberry, my quest auto-updated so I can return to Meriel now and hand over the items that she requested, and I would complete my quest. But I'm not going to do that now, and I'm going to go ahead and pick up another elderberry because I remember the item stack. So leveling up is interesting in this game because as you perform actions, you will level up, but you have to remember to press K so that the level up goes through so you can get the extra bonus from leveling up. Don't forget that. Same thing for skill cards. You have to level them up and equip them. So here I grabbed cabbage. Cabbage, carrot, plus animal fat actually gives a really nice soup. That replenishes a lot of your health and hearts, but I kind of don't need it at the moment because I'm not going out and exploring and battling bosses just yet. But here is the strawberry painting, and this is the only place where you can get it. You pick up some iron ore. Don't hit that barrel, it'll explode. But this area is really nice because it's closed off, no enemies, and once I pick up those things, I can head back to my farm and store everything that I picked up on this little tiny excursion. But I got a pretty good haul. If you can see, a lot of materials, a lot of ores, and that special strawberry painting you can't pick up anywhere else. Alright, so that pretty much does it for our second day. We have a bunch of quests and contracts we'll be able to complete. We'll go ahead and build our cooking pot next episode. And last but not least, I want to place this strawberry painting that I just got on my wall before falling asleep. We're going to be farming a whole bunch to get some items up. For example, the kiln that we're going to need to do our ores in. So I hope you enjoyed your time here in Mirthwood with me, and we'll see you on the next episode.